Hi guys, welcome back to Free Automation Learning channel and my name is Chirag. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic which is known as assertion. Assertion is basically a testng features. By using this assertion we can validate our test data. Suppose we put any validation, I need to check whether this window title or any text or anything is present on my window or not, or at that time we need to validate. So by using assertion we can easily validate. So it is an inbuilt features provided by our testng, and it is a very important feature because if we automate our test scenario and we do not validate whether the result is as per expected or not, so it seems we do not create a valid test scripts, right? So it does not, it seems that we have missed something, or it does not make any sense. Without any validation there would be a test script. So assertion is a very important topic, and mostly interviewer will ask you about the assertion because it is the, you can say, the automation test script is depend on this assertion. If we do not assert or we do not validate, that it does not make sense to create a test script, right? So what is the assertion and how we can use assertion to verify our test cases, or you can say that we can validate our test script by using assertion. And why we use assertion, we will discuss this. As I told you, this testng feature, so we can use assertion in Selenium and as well as APM if we are using testng in that. And type of assertion, so there are two types of assertion. One is hard assertion and another one is soft assertion. So today's agenda is this. So let me start with first point. What is a assertion? So basically when we need to validate our test data with real time with the current value of application, it is known as a validation, and by using assertion we can validate our test steps. So this is known as a assertion. Basically assertion is a class which is provided our testng, and we will look into when we will create our test cases or when we will design our code, right? So second point is how we can use assertion to verify, or I say that it would be to validate, right? Because validate means if hard assertion would fail, at that point my test case would be my test script would be terminated there. So this there we are validate our test cases, right? And why we use assertion to validate, or you can say that we just compare our actual value, the value which we get from real time from application, and expected value, the value which should be present at that time, right? So we just validate by using assertion. And types of assertion, there is a two type of assertion: hard assertion and soft. Hard means suppose there would be a 15 test step and 5 test step 15, and somehow a failure comes at 10 step. At that condition, if I'm using hard assertion, my test script would terminate at that point, right? And in some scenario, suppose there is a form, or I just need to validate this tooltip, or you can say validation message. So there is a form where I need to validate a message by do not enter any value and click on submit button. So there is a 10 validate message, and suppose there would be a typo mistake in any validation message, there would be a third validation message. So it does not make sense that we do not validate our or all validation and make a fail that case. We at that time where we have to validate UI or type mistakes validation, so we just use soft assertion at that point. Suppose there would be a failure comes at third point, but by using soft assertion my test script will resume and will continue, and it will complete a 10 step. At that time it get fails, right? So this is the difference between hard assertion and soft assertion. Now I will show you what is a assertion through a code. So let me create a tutorial 12 and click on finished. In this video I will continue with a hard assertion, and in next video I will cover soft assertion, right? So this script contains assertion and let me create a method public void test assert, and if I just now I press Ctrl space, so you can see that assert is come from testng. So I just click on this, and if I put dot here, so you can see there would be a very huge number of assert which is provide a testng, right? So what are there? If I need to compare, you can see that if I need to compare character actual and expected, suppose I call this and I pass a, and here I also pass a and put @test over here. Now I will run this, and you can see it has been passed successfully, my method. Suppose I put here a p, actual comes a but expected is b. Now we will run again our same test case, and we can see that our test is, my test gets failed, because if you can see that assertion error comes which tells that expected is b but found a. So this is a very useful and message which is provided by assertion class. And this is the one more interview question, that if any test script gets failed, what would be the exception comes? It would exception or it would be a error. So you can say that assertion error comes when we assert any value and it gets failed. So guys, please note down this question, because interview will ask you about the assertion class, right? So you should know about the assertion class. So let me see that this is our assert class which I am talking about. You can see this is the assert class, and in this there would be a static method assert equals array. Let me scroll down. Static method assert equals, which is show actual and expected. So all these are assert is a class and assert equals is a static method, right? So let me show you one more example, and here I put this a public void test assert1, and now we will assert dot assert not equals. In above we can see that if that equals, that fails. If it's not equal, then we will see what will be the output. So there would be a lot of methods is present there. You can just use anything. Suppose I'm using this, and I will pass the same value which I passed above, and difference is like that. This actual is should not equal to expected. So in this case it would be failed. One my test case would pass and one would be failed. Let me just put @test and run this again. And if you can see that there would be a test assert is passed and test assert is failed, right? And if I put here B, because A is not equal to B, now we will see what will be the output comes. And if you can see that there all my two test cases has been passed. So this all about the assertion, right? So let me show one more thing with you. Test and let me enable is equal to false. At this time you can see the assertion error comes here and this point would not be executed. If I use soft assertion, that this point will be executed by testng, but this is known as a hard assertion. It just failed over here and it will not go at this step for display system, or which write the message test on the console. You can see, I will just scroll up. You can see that the error comes here and you can see a beautiful error message display here, that you can easily understand where this error comes. If I just go and see, I just click on this, so my error comes on this line, right? So this is all about the assertion, how we can use assertion and what would be the assertion. Assert is a class and assert equals, all these are static methods which we have seen. So let me just show you a let me open this google.com and we will just see that whether this Gmail is present, this text is equal to Gmail and this image text would be display or not. So we just create a test key for that. So let me just go and copy from any, yes, so I will just go and copy from this so that the length of this video should not get increased, and I will paste all the code, right? So this is nothing, this will be just opening google.com, and here I am just going to verify. How we can verify? We can verify that whether this Gmail is present or not. So let me open and paste. So this would be a Gmail, and if I copy here and just paste about text, or we can identify by hyperlink also, but here I am using a text. So let me create a boolean is Gmail display, and here I would write driver dot find element by dot xpath. Let me copy this xpath from here and will paste over here, right? And just here is displayed. So this would be my scenario, right? What is mistake here? Let me just go and see what would be the so just go and see is display. So let me just and put the value for false over here. And now I'm going to assert. So if it is display, it returns a true, and I'm going to assert, right? Assert true, and we put message Gmail link is not present. So this would be my test case, right? So I would just copy and will write the verify Gmail text. Here what we will do, we will just create a string and here I would use dot get text method, and here we will use a method for expected. For actual you can see we use assert equal, and there will be actual and expected. So my actual is F and expected would be Gmail, right? So these my two test cases which will run, and let me fail one test case. Here we will pass Gmail1 and see what would be the result. So let me run this through testng, and you can see my Firefox will launch soon, and Firefox has been launched. Google.com is, and after that my first step is fast. Now it will run for the second and it would get failed. So you can see there would be a two test script here is run, and one gets failed and one gets passed. So about the failed is that expected would be Gmail 1, but actually it found Gmail, so that's why it's got failed, right? So what we are doing here, we just validate whether this is present or not. Now let me run here this, and just here I am using after class method, and here I am using before class method, so that my Firefox will invoke once, not twice. So at this condition, what I did, I just did that whether this Gmail is equal to this. I'm just going to validate our scenario, right? So this is the important part for the test script. So let me run once again, and here my two test case should be passed because we just give the positive scenario in that. And if you see that my two test cases has been passed successfully, it is all about the assertion, means assert class, and we will discuss in this video a hard-coded assert, and in next video we will going to discuss about a soft assert. So thank you for watching this video, and hopefully you like this video. If you like this video, please press like button. And guys, I'm just going to commit all my code into GitHub. You can download from my code, or just take a URL. The code URL is in video commit section or video details section. You can just go and just download the code in your system, and you can run that code in your system. If you will find any difficulty, please message me or mail me. Thank you for watching this video. Bye bye, take care.